Good evening, everyone. As we are covering our React part, and we have already covered about components, type of component, class component, and functional component. So, today we are going to see that what are the life cycle of components. Okay, and then it will be clear to you that why class component were used in traditional time before the hook invention. So without wasting any time, I'm going to start with the life cycle of components. Just before that, let me share my screen and let us recap that what we have covered. Okay, because that is also important. So up to now we have seen that components are of two types. One is functional component, one is class component. Class component basically have the access to states in React and as well as the life cycle of React. What is life cycle that we will going to discuss soon. After that, uh, in functional component, after the invention of hooks, there is a jargon called hook, something like that. After that invention or the development of hooks, we use functional components moreover class component as both of them are equivalent after the invention of hook, but still we use functional component. Why? Because of the easy syntax and other extra features. Okay. Now, let's just start with today's topic, which is life cycle of components. Okay. So, first of all, what is life cycle of components? See, if there is any element and you are inserting that element into a DOM, okay, that is known as mounting. Then now the element is in your DOM, in your browser's DOM. Now you want to update that element. That is the second cycle of your life cycle, which is updating. And at last there is unmounting. That to delete that element which you have inserted and updated. Okay. So three phases are mounting, updating, and unmounting. Mounting means that you are inserting an element to the DOM. Updating means that you are updating that inserted element. Okay. And unmounting means that you are deleting that particular element. I hope it is clear to you. Very simple terms. Now we will see that how we can do that. What are the predefined functions in class component so that we are able to do these things, right? So mounting. Let's start with the mounting phase. Mounting means putting elements into the DOM. Okay, that mounting simply means that you want to uh, insert that element or put that element into the DOM. Okay, now React has four built-in methods that get calls in order to when we are doing a mounting of a component. They are simply saying you that whenever you are inserting an element into a DOM, right? Then React calls these four built-in functions for the mounting phase and the order will remain same. Only render out of them. There are two things for you to note down. First one is this is the sequence when of function call when you do the mounting process. Okay, means you will call the constructor, you will call the get derived state from prop, you will call render, and you will call component did mount. Out of these four functions in mounting phase, only render function is necessary. Other three are optional. This render function is necessary. Means without it, you can't do the mounting process. Okay. More things you will be clear as soon as we move to the code path. So don't worry. Right now, what I am saying, just to note down two things that in mounting phase, these four functions are there. Okay, they executed in the sequential manner. If the constructor is there, constructor will get called. If get derived state from props is there, after constructor, this will get called. After get derived state from prop, render will get called. And at last, componented mount will get called. Okay, this is one thing. Now, I have told you that out of these four, only one is that which we have to use every time when we are doing the mounting process. And what is the name of that function? That is render. Okay, so same thing they have written over there also that the render method is required and will always be called. The other are optional and will be called if you define them. So what they are saying, that this render method is required and will always be called. Okay, and other are optional. Okay, so that's what we have come to know about mounting process. There's four inbuilt functions are there, three are optional, one which one is not optional, that is render, that is required function. Okay, let's start with the constructor part. Okay, constructor is called before anything else. As soon as you call your component, this constructor function will get called. Okay, and when this component get called, when this constructor get called, this is the natural place to set up initial state. We have already seen about constructor part, right? What we were doing, that through constructor we were setting the initial state, like this dot state equals to the value like color to pink, blue, whatever initial state you want to append, right? The constructor method is called with props as argument, and you should always start by calling the super prop before anything else. This will initiate parent's constructor method and allow the component to inherit method from its parent. They are nothing saying, they are saying that there were two things, that constructor calling a prop, after that super function with a prop. What does the role of super function was? That it will initiate your parent component. Okay, parent class component. So that is the main reason why we were using it. Now something like this we have already seen, that what will happen, that as soon as user call this header in app.jsx, right, what should happen, this constructor will get evaluated. What it will do, it, as you can see in mounting process, the first one is constructor, so it will execute constructor at first. Okay, constructor will get called, this dot state, okay, set the state of favorite color to be red. Okay, done. Now you can see constructor is done. Then after, in mounting process, we will see get derived state from prop. As this is optional, so we will see that is that part over there or not. So you can see that function is not there, so we will skip that as it is optional. Now at third, what is the render? So after constructor, now we come to this render function, and what this render function is doing, my favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. As you know, constructor is already called, right? So what it has done, that it has set this favorite color to red. Okay, and then only you are calling your render function in mounting phase. So now it will provide you the output, my favorite color is red. So to execute it, what we can do, we just move to our VS Code. Let me just open it. Here is our VS Code. Okay, I will move to the components folder. Here in component folder, there is car.jsx. Please don't skip any lecture. I have already told you that how we are doing all these things, right? So if you are going to watch each and every session sequentially, then it will help you a lot. And it will be very easy for you to then continue with all the sessions. Okay. So what I have to do, as we are using a parent class, which is react.component, so I have to import it. Import React from React. Okay, perfect. This we can do, right? Now this is done. Now what is the next step? That there is the class having name header. So if they are using header outside this file, so I have to export this functionality. So export default header, right? Now we will move to our app.jsx. We will change the name of component from car to header because we are using that, and that must be called over here to get the output. Okay. And if I just run this, how to run it? First of all, go to the current folder, which is learn React. So cd change directory to learn React. No problem, we can do it. After that, what we have to do? We have to use the command npm run dev to start our server. You can see it is loading. And when I go over here, now you can see I will get the output. My favorite color is red. Okay, no problem. We are getting the output. How the things are happening? First of all, this is get called. When we have initialized it, first of all, in car.jsx, what should happen? This constructor part will execute. And through this constructor part, basically your favorite color is set it to red. No problem. Now there is second function is mounting phase, which is get derived state from prop. So as this is also an optional function, so you will see that is that there in the code? No, it is not there in the code. So you will move to the third function, which is render function, right? So this is your render function, and when you are returning something, it will provide you the output accordingly. Now you come to know that why this dot's favorite color is giving you the color red, because constructor is already executed and it has set it the initial state of favorite color to be red. Correct? That's what we have done. Okay, perfect. Now let's move to the other part where now we are getting to see, you have learned about constructor now. In mounting process, constructor has been done. Let's move to get derived state from prop. So don't uh, be get don't make it complex by the name. You can just break down this name. Get derived state, okay, from props. So what is props? So, something which you are sending from the user, okay. Whenever you are calling it, like whenever you are calling a component in app.jsx, then you are sharing any prop to them, okay. So you have to get the derived state from the props you are sharing in app.jsx, okay. That is what we are getting through name. Let's see the definition part now. The get derived state from props method is right before rendering. Okay, that first one in mounting phase, the first method is constructor. The second method is get derived state from prop. So the same thing they are telling you that it comes right before rendering part. Okay, this is the natural place to set the state object based on the initial prop. They are saying that suppose if you have not setted any state through constructor, then you can set the initial state from the props over here. We have already seen that there are two ways to initialize the state. One is that through constructor, other one is through props. Like whenever I am calling here this header function, here I have to in app.jsx, if I move here, I will send a color like red, okay, or anything else as per your requirement. So this is the another way to set the initial state. Same thing they are telling you. It takes take as an argument and return an object with change. Okay, let's see about this and then it will be clear to you. Now see what is happening. Class header extends React.component. Now all of you are familiar that it is a which type of component? It is a class component. Okay. Constructor. First of all, what will happen? As soon as you have called this header component in app.js, what should happen? This constructor will get executed. What it will do? It will just append the favorite color to be red. No problem. Now we will see that what is the second function? That is get derived state from prop. We will move to get derived state from prop now. Okay. Here it is. So what does get derived state from props takes? It takes two arguments. First is your prop which you are sharing and other is the current state. That what is the current state for it right now. For now it is red. Okay. We have already set it through constructor, no problem. Return favorite color. Now they are saying that change the favorite color to props.favcall or set the color to props.favcall means whatever you have shared as a prop here like favcall favorite color yellow that you have to change over here. They are saying this. Now there is a render function and then there is a return statement. So my favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. So what should be the favorite color now? Whatever you have shared over here. So if we try to just a second, if I copy this and if I try to execute it, then it will be more clear to you what I am saying. Okay, up to now everyone is clear that first of all constructor will get called and accordingly it will set the color to red. After that, if I change the code a bit, okay, after that this get derived state from prop will get called. It will take two arguments that the prop which you are sharing at the execution time of app.jsx and the state like what is the current state, which is referring to your favorite color as red right now. Okay. Now, before rendering it, you have to execute this function. So suppose I have to pass favorite color as props.favcall. Okay, so I have to pass a attribute having name favcall. So let's do this. In app.jsx, I will move to this header part. I will append favcolor as, what can I write here? Suppose purple, and just close it. Now what I have done, carefully see, I have passed a prop. This is what props is all about. Like an argument, whenever you are calling a component, just pass it as an argument. Now what will happen? First of all, constructor will get called. No problem. Constructor has set it the color of favorite color to be red. Okay, yes sir, it has set it the favorite color to red. No problem. Then second function, which is get derived state from prop. Now what it is doing? It is also setting the favorite color to props.favcall, to the color which is sent by user through the component here, which is purple. So what should happen? That this red will be now changed to that color, which is purple. Okay, now the color is purple, and then this render function will get called. My favorite color is, so what should be the output? Red or purple? The output should be purple because it has executed first, right? Just a second. Yeah, it has executed first. After that, get derived state has changed the value, and that value has been rendered. And what is rendered, that we are only going to see in our web page. So here you can see the color is coming as purple. So this is one thing. Is it clear? Get derived state from prop. Very easy. Just you have to go through the name of them. Constructor, no problem that it will initialize the current state. Get derived state from prop. It is also used to initialize the state before rendering, right? And this render method, you are already familiar with it now, that it is a must method you have to pass for the mounting phase. Without it, you can't do the mounting part. So whatever you are writing in render function, if we move to the render part, so you can see here we are already doing it. Whatever you are returning in render is what we are going to see in our web page, right? Okay, so these three function has been done. Mounting part is basically inserting an element into the DOM. Okay, then there is constructor, we have covered it. There is get derived state from prop, we have covered it. There is render, we have already covered. Now component did mount. Let's go to this function. The component did mount method is called after the component is rendered. Very basic thing, as I have already told you, that these are in sequential manner. That first of all, this will get called, then this will get called, then this, and at last component did mount. So same thing they are saying, that after the render method, this will get called. And now all of you are familiar that which one of them is a must function? Yes, render is the must function. Other three are optional. They might be present in your code, they might not be present in your code. If they are present in your code, then you have to follow the sequential manner, that first constructor will get called, then get derived state will get called, then render, and then componented mount. Okay, now let's move to the componented mount part. The componented mount, there is when you run statements that requires the component is already placed in DOM. Okay, so right now I don't I'm not able to tell you what it is doing. I just elaborate you this part, and all of you will be able to get it, that what is happening through componented mount. Okay, first one is constructor. Constructor simple work is to initialize the current state. Okay, then there is get derived state from props. What it is going to do? It will execute at the second number in the mounting phase and just assign the state to the prop value. Whatever you have sent as a prop in the runtime environment, it will assign that. Okay, then there is third one, which is render. Whatever you are rendering, it will be seen in your web page. So you can see render method is required. This actually outputs the HTML to the DOM. Means they through render, basically you are inserting the HTML part to the DOM. Okay, Now it is clear. Now let's move to this code. And now with me, you also have to just dry run it. Okay, first of all, what should happen? We will see where it is calling. Okay, it is calling header. Okay, no problem. As soon as this header will get called, what should happen? Header component will get called. What should happen? Constructor will execute. Okay, constructor has been executed now. Now, constructor, what constructor has done? That it has setted the favorite color to red. No problem, it has done it. After constructor, what is the second function? It is get derived state from prop. So is the function there? No, the function is not there, as that is also a optional function, so we don't require it. Then the third function is render. Okay, now it is render. My favorite color is, and this dot state dot favorite color is coming. Okay, so what is happening right now, that you are telling that my favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. So what is the favorite color? As only constructor is get called, so this part will only give me the color red. Okay, and after that, what should happen? After render, component did mount will get called. Okay, component did mount is called now, and component did mount is doing one thing, that it is using set timeout function. A set timeout function is basically a timer function which executes after the milliseconds which you have set it over here. Here this 1000 means 1000 milliseconds, which is equivalent to 1 second. So this set timeout function look like this, a arrow function which takes two things. First of all, the function which you have to execute, then the timing in milliseconds. Okay, that means that through this set timeout, you want to execute this function after this much time. And what is this time? 1000 milliseconds, or it is equivalent to 1 second. Okay, so what should happen? That through this dot set state. Now in yesterday session, we have learned that what does this set state do? So how many of you know about it, that what this set state will do? Yes, I think you will come to know that through set state, we can change the current state, right? So what we are doing, this dot set state, change the favorite color to yellow. This is what we are doing, correct? Okay, so let's try to do one thing. Let's try to execute it in VS Code. Then I will let you know that what is happening. Here, if I go, okay, see what is happening. As soon as a user, if I go to app.jsx, I have called this component, which is header. Constructor will get called, right? Now you all are familiar with that. Sir, constructor get called. Constructor has uh, constructor has set it the favorite color to red. No problem, we have got it. Now, second thing, get derived state from prop. Sir, that is not there as it is an optional function. So no problem, we will move to the render. Okay, render is here. Now, sir, render function is something which will insert our HTML part to the actual DOM. So what should happen? What we see on web page, my favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. So what is the favorite color right now after executing constructor only? Red. No problem, sir. We have done it. After render, what should happen? That fourth and the last function of mounting phase, which is component did mount, will get executed, right? Now what this component did mount is doing, it is using a set timeout function. That set timeout function is setting the state with this dot set state. Okay, that favorite color, change the favorite color to yellow. No problem. After how many seconds? After 1 second. So to make it noticeable, I am changing it to 8000 millisecond, means 8 seconds. Okay, let's move to the website now. See, I am refreshing it. Right now it is showing my favorite color is red. Okay, but after 8 seconds, see, this red will be changed to yellow. Let's see. Yeah, it is working fine. So what we have done through component did mount, we have added a set timeout function in component did mount. What it will do? It is saying you that through render you have inserted something in DOM. Now I want to change that in our HTML part. Okay, and that you have changed through set state. You can see here we are using set state. So through this set state, we have already changed this favorite color to yellow. And when something will change in DOM, this render function executes one more time. Okay, this is one thing you have to remind, that every time something change in your web page, the render function is going to execute. So that's why it executed one more time, and now it is showing you the state favorite color as yellow instead of red. I hope it is clear to you. Just see the sequence, just pause the video, have a look at how it is happening. That first of all, constructor will get called. After that, get derived state from prop. If that is not there, then render will print whatever we have set it through constructor. Up to now, it is all clear. Okay. Then after that, fourth function is component did mount. Now, if you move to component did mount part, right, then you have to see that after how many seconds you want to perform an operation. If your element is already inserted to the DOM and now you want to perform some application, or you can say changes, you can do that through set state, right? But as soon as I refresh this, it will still give me the color red. So this is how it is different from update, right? Mounting phase. Don't mix this with the updation part. Someone might be, you will say that, sir, the color is changing from red to yellow. So this is the updation also. So why we are learning this in the mounting phase? No, you are partially correct. You are saying that, sir, the color is changing from red to yellow. But that is not permanent. Sir, why it is not permanent? You can see it from here. If I refresh this, then I am getting the color red, not yellow. So for permanent, if updation is a process when you change something permanently. Okay. Right now you are doing it temporary. As soon as you refresh the website, same thing will get logged first. So this is why this is kept inside your mounting phase. So what are the four phases of mounting? First one is constructor, through which you can initialize the state. Second one is get derived state from prop. So what it will do? It will use the props to assign the state. No problem. The third one is surrender. What we are doing through render? So we are using render to see the changes in the web page and actually insert our document to the DOM. Okay, the fourth one is component did mount. So through this, we are just checking, the name is suggesting component did mount. If component is inserted, then we can change something with that, but that is not permanent. That is basically temporary, right? And that's why it is come inside mounting phase. So this is how it is different from updation part, because updating means that that value will be stored in your DOM permanently, so that you can, if you are able to refresh the website again and again, still you will get the same color yellow once after updation. Okay, I hope it is clear now. Yes, so we have completed the first part of our life cycle, which is mounting, and I hope that it is clear to you. If not, then just give some time, okay, just to make it like a story that, okay, mounting phase means inserting something into the DOM. No problem. There are four functions for that, out of which three are optional and one is mandatory. The mandatory one is render. Other three optional function are constructor, get derived state from prop, and componented mount. What is the sequential steps for doing it? The sequential step is, first of all, constructor will get called. After that, get derived state from prop will get called, then render, and at last componented mount. Okay, perfect. This is what we have to make sure that we have gone through this part. Now updating. I hope everything is clear to you, right? So let's now start with the updating part. The next phase in lifecycle is when a component is updated. Updated means that you have changed something and that is also pushed to the DOM. Okay, just make sure what I am saying, that you have changed something and that is a permanent change. Okay, let's see. A component is updated whenever there is a change in state or prop. React has 5 built-in methods that called in order when a component is updated. So they are saying that in mounting there were 4 methods, in updating there are 5 methods, no problem. We can see each of 5 of them quite easy. Same thing is here, only this render is basically your required. The render method is required and will always be called. The other four are optional. If you define them, then only they will execute. Otherwise, there is no need to execute them. Okay, no problem. What are the five methods? Let's go through the name. Okay, just a second. Uh, okay. So yes, so I was saying that updating. The next phase in lifecycle is component when updated, right? So the first function is get derived state from prop. You will see, sir, this one is also in mounting phase. No problem. Here they have already given it. That's why they are saying it that it is a optional function. You just have to focus on render function and how these things are working. Same thing this will function will do over here in updation part. No worries. Okay. Then should component update. After that render, get snapshot before update and component did update. That was component did mount and here it is component did update. So let's start with the first function, which is get derived state from prop. No problem. At now, one thing I want to also let you know that see, that's why we use functional component nowadays because there are no these types of function over there. There are very simple hooks like use state hook, use effect hook, use reference hook, use memo hook. Okay, those are the hooks which we have to learn and they are quite simple. Nothing extra you have to do over there. So that's why if that is not even clear to you guys, then there is no problem because you are going to use functional components over there. Okay, but still, in interview, if someone asks you that, do you have any idea about the life cycle? So you can answer that. So that's why I'm letting you know each and everything in detail. Okay, okay. So let's start with get derived state from prop. Same thing. Also at the updates, why they have written also? Because in mounting phase, also there is get derived state from prop. Method is called. Then this is the first method that is called when a component get updated. Means when a component is updated, you have to again go to get derived state from prop to check that is it executed or not. Okay, this is still the natural place to set the state object in initial props. No problem, it is going to initialize something. The example below has a button that changes the favorite color to blue. We will see that they have written some code that are changing the color to blue. But since the get derived state from prop method is called, which updates the state from which updates the state with the color from the fab call attribute. Let's see what they are saying. First of all, let's go through it. Okay. Class component having name header. What should happen as you have called it? Sir, it will call constructor. Okay, perfect. It will call constructor. Through constructor, what is happening? Sir, favorite color is set it to red. Yes, that is also correct. Then, sir, second function is get derived state from prop. Yes, this will get called. So what it is doing? It is asking that have you given the prop color? So yes, through prop, you have shared the color yellow. Okay, sir. Now the favorite color is set it to yellow. Okay. Now there is a change color function. We will see that when this change color function is doing, when it is called, but right now what it is doing, it is changing the color. The changing the color set state through favorite color to be blue. Okay. It is change on clicking this button, this color is changing to blue. They are saying like this. Now, my favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. So as you know that through this line what should happen right now your color is first of all through constructor red and then through get derived state from prop that is yellow. So right now yellow will be the output for this line. Okay, sir, no problem, that is correct. Then after that button type equals to button on click means there will be a button and on clicking on that button you are going to call change color. So you are calling change color. No problem. We are calling change color. What it is doing? This dot set state favorite color to blue. Now there is something which you need to understand that what is happening. Some of you will get confused that, sir, through this set state, we can change the color to blue. Now, sir, color is blue. So after clicking on this button, the output screen will have now the color instead of yellow to blue. But that is not correct. Now, listen the explanation carefully that why it is not correct. Let me just remind you what we have done. We have called the constructor, no problem. It has setted the color to red. We have called get derived state from prop. It has setted the color to yellow. Now changing the color means updating something, right? So when you are updating something, this updation process will start. And through updation, what is happening? Get derived state from prop gets called first. Okay. So when you are trying to update something, what should happen? That get derived state from prop again get called. So according to you have clicked on the button is changed to blue. But before rendering to screen, it will again call this get derived state from prop. And that is again assigning the color from blue to yellow. Okay. And after that, what should happen? After get drive state, render will execute again. So now if render will get executed, it will see the last color, which is set it to yellow again. So that's why it is printing. That's why it is going to print yellow again. So let me just take you to VS Code. We will dry run it one more time after seeing the final output. Okay. We have dry run it, and through dry run, I am getting no color change when clicking on this change color button. This is my interpretation after executing or dry running it. Now we are going to see it in real. My favorite color is, okay, just a second. Yeah, any one of you will let me know that why we are not getting any color here. The reason is, I will let you know. These are the small things which you can predict from your output if you have the practice. In app.jsx, as we are using get derived state from prop, so the prop must be there, right? So what I have to do, I have to define fav call as suppose yellow. Now this should be there. Okay, here we come. So you can see my favorite color is yellow. Now change color function is there. According to you, if I click to this change color, this should be become blue. Because sir, we have learned set state, right? But if set state is used and get derived state is also there, then you have to go through each sequential manner execution, right? So if I'm doing change color, you can see I am clicking multiple times over here, but still nothing is changing. Why it is not changing? I am letting you know one more time that why it is not changing. Let's move to car.jsx. See, first of all, the constructor will get called, no problem. Constructor has set it the color to red. Okay. Then the get derived state from mounting part will get called. Okay. Through prop, we have set it the color to yellow. Okay, sir. Now the color is yellow. Now what should happen? Render function will get called. Okay, sir. Render function is getting called. My favorite color is yellow because the get derived state from prop color is yellow. Okay. Then, sir, there is a button. Now, if I am clicking on this button, sir, that means I am changing the color to blue. Now, after render has been executed, we will move to get derived state again because updation is done, right? We are updating something. So now this get derived state function will get called one more time before re-rendering it. Okay, because one time render has executed. Now to again re-render your website, you have to go to the updation part. And when you move to from mounting to updation part, first of all, this function will get called from the sequence. Here you can check the sequence. This will get called. So through this, what should happen? That now again the color is set it to yellow. Okay. And then after re-rendering, you will still get here yellow and the button as it is. So that's why it is not changing anything over here. Okay. Just listen this explanation carefully and I can guarantee that you will come to know that why the color is not changing. Okay. Now should component update? in the should component update method, you can return a Boolean value. So basically, should component update basically return you Boolean value, means true and false. Okay. And accordingly, it will let you know that are you able to do the update or not. We will see that quite easy. Okay. Method, you can return a Boolean value that specify whether a React should continue with the rendering or not. So they are saying that through this, you are telling React that you have to do the rendering or not. Okay. The default value is true. They are saying the default value is true. So let's see the example. Here, see, just you have to make sure that you have the idea about the execution numbers, like which function has to be executed in which order. So first of all, as soon as user has called this component, constructor will get called. Yes, sir, constructor will get called. We will start from the mounting phase. Constructor get called. It has set it the favorite color to red. Crystal clear, sir. Now get derived state. Sir, gets derived state is not there. No problem. Go to render. Sir, yes, we will come to render. My favorite color is this dot state dot favorite color. Yes, sir. So what we have done, sir, we have set it. My favorite color is favorite color, which is current appended through constructor, which is red. Okay, sir. I will get here red. Yes. Now, sir, again there is a button which is calling this dot change color. Okay. Now see what should happen, sir. Okay, again this color is there, means we are this button is there, means we are doing some updation part. So now go to from mounting, we go to update part. Sir, in update, get derived state from prop will execute first. There is no get derived state from prop. Then come to next one. Sir, yes, there is should component update. So this function is there and you have tell that it will return us true or false. By default, it is true. And now it is now you are returning false. False means that you don't have to re-render the website, means don't change anything in the website. Keep it same as the previous one. Okay. What does it mean? It will be more clear when we just execute this. See. Just a second and everything will be crystal clear to you. Sir, constructor will get called. Favorite color is red. No problem. Favorite color will get rendered. Then, sir, you have told me that whenever there will be the updation, we have to go sequence wise. So we will see get derived state. That is not there. We will move to should component mount. It is returning me false. False means that they don't want that this website will re-render after the update. Okay. So let's see that what does it mean. So that means that if I click to this change color button, they don't want that the color should change. Okay, no problem, sir. So how we can see the change colors? By default, it is true. We can make it to true now. And if I do change color button, can you see that this is changing to blue now? If I refresh it, if I change the color, you can see it is changing to blue. And that is happening here. It is changed to blue. Yes, sir, it is working fine. What is happening, sir? One more time. Can you explain? Yes, why not? So, see what is happening. First of all, if the value is true, that means you want that your updated website will be rendered. Okay. That means you also want to render the changes to the website. What changes, sir? Whatever you have done through set state. Okay. So that is the permission you are doing giving through should component mount. Okay. And that is basically happening. So by default, that was set it to true and they have make it false first so that you will not able to see the updation. Okay. And when you have make it to true, that means that you want to see the changes color and that you were getting over there. So this is something which we were getting. Okay. So same thing they have done here. Instead of false, they have done true. And I have already shown you that what is happening when we are creating it to true. If I make it to false, then there will be no re-rendering of website. Re-rendering means again loading of website after the updation. So you can see now the color is not changing if I am already clicking on this button, right? You can see I am clicking, but still nothing is happening because I have making it to that should component update to false, and it will return Boolean values. Now render. The render method is of course called when a component gets updated. It has to re-render the HTML to the DOM with the new changes. They are saying that render has to re-execute one time for mounting, then other time for anything whenever anything is updated. But now you can see what they are saying, that render method of course called a components get updated. It has to re-render the HTML to the DOM. So after the updation, it has to re-render and then push the HTML to the DOM part. Okay, that is this part. Nothing, just should component did found. Component update will take two values, Boolean values, true and false. If that is false, that means no re-rendering will take place. If that is true, that means that you have to re-render it. Okay. Now get snapshot before update. Okay, we have covered three functions up to now. What are them? Get derived state, should component update, and render. We will take 2 minute break. Up to then, just make sure that you have all of you have the idea that how we are doing it. Now we will see get snapshot before update. So the name is basically suggesting it. So just go through it, that get snapshot before update means you want something of snapshot, mean you want something that will give you an idea that before update how was my elements look like. Okay, why sir we need it? Sir, this is optional. Yes, this is optional also. Why we need it? Like suppose as a user I have changed my color from yellow to red. Okay, then only I know that I have updated the color from yellow to red, but you don't know it. Okay, so to have an idea that you can also get it that what color has been updated, we use this get snapshot before update. So get me an idea that before update what was the status of the element. So that is what we are going to see, get snapshot before update. So we'll start within 2 minutes. Okay. Yes, I think now we can start. In the get snapshot before update method, you have access to props and state. Why you have the access to props and state? Because sir, because the reason is we want to track that what was the previous state. Then only we can let them know that this is you have updated and this was the previous one. Right? So that's why we have to be the record of the previous props as well as the previous state. Now they are saying that through this example, two functions will be covered for this. Means they are showing you that how you can use get snapshot before update and component did update together. So that will be the case that through this example, both of them will be clear to you. Now see, if the get snapshot before update method is present, you should also include the component did update method. Otherwise, you will get an error. Means these two, if you are using this get snapshot before update, then it is must that you can use this method. Okay, otherwise you will get an error. Okay, let's see that what is happening. Through this code, we are going to go through line by line and then the life cycle is completed. So you can see this part is done. Let me just tell you that what is happening. We have idea about now the mounting phase and the updation phase. Okay. As soon as we have called this component, what should happen? That it has setted the color of favorite color to be red. Okay, no problem. After the constructor, what should evaluate? Get snap after this, get derived state from prop. So get derived state from prop is not there. So what will happen? Render will execute. Okay. Through render, what is happening? See this. My favorite color is whatever the favorite color is, which is right now red, because only constructor has been evaluated, right? And then the div id equals to div and div id equals to div1 2. Okay, no problem. After render, what should happen? You have to move to the mounting phase. From mounting phase, you have to move to the updating phase. In updating phase, see how many functions are there. Before updating, there is another thing which is component did mount. Okay, let's see component did mount. What it is doing, it is setting timeout that after 1 second the favorite color will change to yellow. See, when you go to the mounting phase, there are three functions of mounting phase. First one is constructor, then there is render, and after that there is component did mount, right? So execute them in order. First of all, through constructor the color is set it to red, no problem. Through render, we have changed the like printed the color to the website to red. Okay, so after this component did mount will get called, and as the time limit is 1 second, 1000 millisecond equivalent to 1 second. So what should happen? The color will change to yellow. This is done. Okay, now we will come to update part. What should happen in update part? That after this render, you can see the sequence manner. Again, rendering the color to be yellow, what should happen? Get snapshot before update is called. Okay, let's see. Yes, get snapshot before update. So it is taking previous props and previous state. Why? Because that's only how you can track the previous state. Document.get element by ID. They are saying that get those document which has the ID equals to div1 and change that inner HTML. Means inside this div, now you want to add some content, which is this. What you want to write the text over there? Before the update, the favorite color was. That's I was saying that for tracking that before update, what was the color, or before update, what was the element previous state that you have to change, that you have to track. So for that, they are using get snapshot before update. Okay. Before the update, the favorite color was and fetch the color. Previous state dot favorite color. Previous state is now indicating to red. Okay. Because this is the current state after yellow has been assigned. So they are moving to the previous state. Quite easy, just you have to make sure you know the flow, how the flow is going on. Okay, sir, they have inserted a line that before the update the favorite color was this. Okay, done. What should happen after that, sir? After that, component did update will get called with get snapshot. Component did update will get called, and what it is doing, it is targeting this div2 again. Okay, and what it is doing, that change the inner wrap to HTML, that updated color is this dot state dot favorite color. Means whatever the current value of color is, you have to provide that. So once I will elaborate it, just see, then you will come to know that how it is happening. I will explain one more time on VS Code. Okay. Right now, just see, I am changing this to 5 seconds, and we will move to our website, refresh it, and see. My favorite color is red right now. Okay, when the 5 second will pass, you will see that the color is changes to yellow, and to track that we have used before get snapshot before update. And what it is doing, that before the update the favorite color was red and the updated favorite color is yellow. Are you able to see that how you are having the access to all the previous state also through class component? So now let me just explain one more time, and then we are good for the life cycle of React. See, constructor will get called first. Okay, through constructor you have set the color to red. Okay, then after constructor what should happen? Render function will get evaluated. Through render function, only this line will come, right? That my favorite color is, and what is the favorite color through constructor? Red. So you can see we are getting red. Now what should happen? It will move to the mounting part, the fourth function, which is component did mount. What does component did mount will do? It will change the color, and after 5 seconds. Okay, so after 5 seconds, you can see the color is changing to yellow. Okay, sir. As soon as it has changed the color, the updation is triggered, and through updation, these two functions will get called. What these functions are doing, that get snapshot before update, it will take previous prop and previous state and change the HTML of div1. Right now you can see if I refresh it in initial render, there is no div1 div2 content, right? So right now the div1 and div2 are empty, but as I am changing their inner HTML, means I want to write some code inside this, so that is only possible through get snapshot before update. And what this is doing, it is providing some text with the previous state of favorite color. That what was the favorite color? Just track that. So that was red. So through div1 you are getting that color, and through div2 what is happening? Through div2 you are calling component did update. Means after the updation, what is the color that you are telling? So the update is this dot state dot favorite color. Now it is calling you the current state, state color, right? And that is set it to yellow. So you can see if I refresh it, right now render is done. Then after 5 seconds, component did mount will take place. And as soon as that will take place, these get snapshot before update and your component did update will execute and you are getting the output accordingly. Okay. Now, as these are not used much, so they have not given the unlinking part or unmounting part over there. But let me tell you that what happens in unmounting, that you just remove the scope of that particular component. Unmounting means deleting that element from the DOM. Okay, so what you are doing, you just have to delete that element, whatever favorite color you have set it. So you have to delete that color. That is basically the unmounting phase. Okay, so this is the life cycle of your component, and mainly the life cycle consists of mounting and updating. In mounting, there are 4 functions. In updating, there are 5 functions. Out of both of these phases, only render is must function. Okay, what is the sequence? First of all, for mounting phase, one is constructor, second is get derived state from prop, third is render, and four is component did mount. For updation, there are 5 methods. The sequences, first one, get derived straight from prop, then should component update, something like that was there. Let me just check. Should component update, or is that the name was different? Let's check. Get snapshot. Okay, we have to move to updating bar. Should component update, right? Then there is render at third. Then we have to use both of them simultaneously if we are using any of them. So get snapshot before update and component did update. What are the uses of get snapshot before update? So that we can track the previous state and previous props update also. And component did update means after the updation, what is the current result that you will provide through this. Okay, this is what we have to cover for today's session. Now, what we are going to do in the upcoming session is that we will see about props, that we will just give 5 minutes to see that how we can execute multiple props. Then we'll start from here, this hooks part, because that is important. Up to now, what you have covered in React, the basic part of React, the setup of React, the theoretical sections where you have seen what is virtual DOM, then you have seen what is class component, what is functional component, their implementation, right? Then we have seen about class component with their life cycles also. So most of the part we have covered. Now the main part, which is this hooks part, that how these hooks will provide the functional component that power to access the state, that we are going to see. Okay, and mainly we will cover use state hook, we will cover use effect hook, and then we will see for side effect other hooks. Okay, 2 3 are the main hooks that we are going to cover only. Just make sure that you will be consistent throughout the sessions. Okay, just revise previous class before the ongoing class, and that will give you a good confidence. Okay, this is what we have already covered. So I am not starting any new topic today because hooks are a segregated topic. So I make sure that only in for hooks, we can create a dedicated session, and it will take 1 to 1.5 hours. So I will complete that in the upcoming lecture only. So that is what we have to cover, and then your React part will be done. Then you can try to create few things at your end. You can try to write the code for few components at your end, and that will make you feel confident. Okay. So thank you so much for listening. And now we are going to connect tomorrow. Happy learning. Have a nice day.